The following are just a few examples of the art of gaslighting. Gaslighting as a noun, the act or practice of grossly misleading someone, especially for one's own advantage. Merriam-Webster. Gaslight as a verb, to manipulate another person into doubting his or her perceptions, experiences, or understanding of events. The American Psychological Association.
Article 20 is in effect if we get hold of the property, period.
As you can see for yourself, Article 20 was filed well over a year ago, in May of 2022, so it has been in full effect. It obligates us to a joint maintenance agreement for any owner of the golf course. Plus, we are also responsible for any financial shortfalls that the golf course may have. So what Mr. Delfonso said is not true. Some people may call that gaslighting, while others would refer to it as a lie. This slide was presented to us at the July Golf Course Town Hall that was held this year. The president of our board went into great detail that if we do not obtain the golf course, we would not have any control over the use of the property. However, on numerous occasions, we've been told by not only the board of directors, but also by the HOA attorneys, that the golf course property is on a restrictive deed, meaning that the property can only be used as a golf course, no matter who owns it. So where's the truth? If we do not acquire the golf course, the restrictive deed is still in place. So doesn't that mean that we still do have control? Gaslighting. I also draw your attention to the fact that the HOA board has been saying that they're protecting our property values, and how if we don't obtain the golf course, our home values could decline to as much as $175,000. Gee, they even used a couple of communities to prove their theory. However, they never gave specifics. So let's see, was this gaslighting? This information was obtained from the California Association of Realtors, where home property values can be found. Home prices from 2012 to June 2023. Carmel Mountain Ranch. Homes have increased 3 times the amount that they were in 2012. Poway Stonebridge. Homes are selling at 2.5 times higher than they were in 2012. These are two communities that our board of directors have used as examples where home prices would decline. That's not what the statistics show now, is it? Isn't it odd that when the board of directors cite examples of things, they never quite give a foundation for those numbers? They never tell you where those numbers came from so that you can fact check them for yourselves. These are real numbers. This is the real story. So, property values declining. Gaslighting? At that same golf course town hall held in July of this year, the president of our board showed us some pictures of how the golf course used to look. So here are a couple of photos that the president of our association showed us. Beautiful green grass, the creeks, in his words, flowing clean and freely. He basically, I thought, was implying that this is what we want to restore the golf course to after Majestic had basically ruined it. I don't know if that's the impression that you got, but that's the one that I did. Now I'd like to share with you some photos that I came across that Majestic took to document the repairs and restoration they made after they purchased the golf course. Gee, looks familiar, doesn't it? Yes, these are the photos that the president of our board of directors used. These are the actual photos that belong to Majestic when they documented the improvements that they made to the golf course after they purchased it. Were we gaslit again? If you recall or look back at the video of the golf course town hall from July of this year, you will see that I asked a question of the HOA attorney. And that question basically was, what was offered at the mandatory settlement conference in December? What did we offer that would have settled this back in December? I invite you all to view the video of the attorney as he gave his answer to my question. But in summary, what he did was give a description of the California Evidence Code that governs a mediation conference. That is much different than a mandatory settlement conference. After thoroughly researching the California Evidence Code, I can find no requirement mandating or requiring confidentiality for a mandatory settlement conference. In other words, the attorney never did answer my question. Okay, here's where it gets a little complicated. We all know that a very slim majority of the residents here at the colony approved a special assessment, and that special assessment comes to a grand total of $3,167,070. And of that amount, we approved a purchase price that is limited to $1.5 million to acquire the golf course. However, the court has issued a credit to the colony in excess of $2.4 million. This means that the $1.5 million to purchase the golf course is already been taken care of by the credit issued by the court. So the question is, why isn't our special assessment reduced by that amount? But instead, the total now, including the $1.5 million to purchase the golf course, is now $4,664,070. Wouldn't it seem right to reduce everybody's special assessment by almost $950 because of the court-issued credit? That's not going to happen now, is it? My question is, why am I the one to explain this to you? Once again, we go back to the golf course town hall that was held this July. I encourage you to view it and view the section where JC Golf made a presentation to us. Now, this is the golf course management company that the board of directors have engaged and brought into our community. This is the golf course management company that has been our expert witness during the court proceedings. This is also the golf course management company that the court documents showed as one that the HOA board has already agreed to engage as managers of our golf course. Now, if you look at their presentation slide, you see a lot of wonderful things. However, once again, there is no substance, no foundation, no details. JC Golf had a 10-year contract with the city of Escondido to manage the Reedy Golf Course. As you can see by this graph and chart, there is an annual breakdown of the money that was funded and the losses, and how much JC Golf was compensated. Not a very encouraging or optimistic picture, especially when you consider that the city of Escondido was funding this golf course, meaning that it was taking taxpayer dollars to pay for the operations of this golf course. You can see how the losses mounted. This is the first page of the report that I just showed you. The entire report is available for you to read yourself, and I'm happy to provide that for you. As a matter of fact, it has already been uploaded to the CC4U website. So after viewing the presentation that JC Golf gave, my question is, where's the business plan? Where's the budget? Where are the metrics? Where are the milestones? We're talking about a multi-million-dollar contract. We're talking about multi-millions of dollars that we as homeowners are going to have to fund. What type of research and vetting did our board do? Once again, this is nothing but gaslighting with no foundation, no solid business plan, yet millions upon millions of dollars at risk. So let's move on to some simple math. The homeowner equity account. Please forgive me if I'm repeating something that you already know, but some people are still a little unclear on what this account actually is. It is basically a safety net. In the event that there is a catastrophic event that hits our community, our HOA is still able to be operational till it can get on its feet again. It can still pay its bills. So at the end of October in 2021, our homeowner equity account total was almost $1.8 million. In July of 2023, just a couple months ago, the Treasurer's report said that the homeowner equity account, as of the end of June, totaled $1.2 million. The treasurer also reported that the total amount of money that we gifted the golf course from the equity account was $362,567. Okay, so now let's do the math. October 2021, the account balance was at $1,797,000. June 2023, as reported by our treasurer, the balance was now at $1,214,714, making a difference of $582,286. Then you deduct the gift that we made to the golf course, as reported by the treasurer, of $362,567. That still leaves a balance of $219,719. So where is it? I have no idea. Do you? Now it just looks like the financials are maybe incomplete in their reporting. I don't know how many of you recall, but there was an account called the golf course account. And in October of 2021, the balance of that account was $352,000. Now, this was funded by attorney's fees that were awarded back to us from the court. However, in May of 2022, that golf course account was at zero. So where did that money go? Again, I don't know. Do you? Here is an idea that perhaps you've heard because it continues to be floated out into our community. And that is that the golf course could be turned into a wedding venue. And that would generate more income to where we as residents wouldn't have to pay as much to subsidize the losses of the golf course. Well, it's my understanding that that is exactly what Majestic tried to do to make up for the shortfall in income that it was unable to generate. And the city stepped in and would not issue a permit and shut that entire idea down. So, when we keep hearing this idea being floated throughout our community, that, my friends, is nothing but gaslighting. Now, moving on to something that kind of struck me at the last general session board meeting that I wouldn't necessarily call gaslighting, but I think it's more in the realm of competence. At the board meeting, if you view the video, you will see over 30 minutes devoted to the rabbit issue. Not the landscape supervisor, the landscape committee chair, the general manager, or for that matter, any board member even mentioned what I would consider to be the obvious solution. To me, the obvious solution and the most humane solution to mitigate the rabbit damage. And I want you to remember, I use the word mitigate, not eradicate, because I don't think that we can completely eliminate the rabbit population. However, we can mitigate it, reduce it. And we do that by disrupting their habitat. I'm sure many of you can look around the colony and see very dense brush, overgrown brush, brush that has been intentionally planted, yet not well maintained, that is the perfect habitat for rabbits and raccoons. Yet nothing is being done to eliminate this or to control it. And by proper landscape control and planning, I believe it is logical that if you disrupt an animal's habitat, they will move on. And if they move on, wouldn't that also diminish the food resource for the coyotes? I think so too. Yet none of this was even mentioned. A question was posed to all the candidates at the candidates' night. And that question was, what if the golf course some time down the line became financially unsustainable? Would you be opposed to a different use? And I brought up the program called Rewilding. And to date, 35 countries worldwide, plus the United Nations, have signed on to this movement and have enacted plans within their countries and communities. It is not a one-size-fits-all initiative. There are as many different programs as there are countries involved. Unlike what has been put out to the community, that there is only one program and it would not fit the colony. That is gaslighting. To further attempt to gaslight this program and me, they were saying how, oh, this would be nothing but government grants, and we would probably have to open it up to the public. Not true. A significant portion of funding comes from foundational grants, not government grants. And programs range from large land masses to very small acreage, where even indigenous plants are restored, not just the wildlife. So you see, when the candidates and board members say that they are open-minded to any alternative uses for the property that the golf course is on, that doesn't really ring true now, does it? Ask yourself why. Why the effort to gaslight? So here's another question. Does character matter? I tend to keep a very low profile on the internet. So doing a Google search on me, you're not going to really come up with a whole lot of stuff because I'm not on social media. I don't have a Twitter account or an Instagram or anything like that. But last year, my old high school was organizing a high school reunion, a 50-year plus reunion, and started a Facebook page. So, in order for me to participate in this, I had to finally have a Facebook account, which I did, and joined my high school reunion Facebook page. After a few weeks, I thought, I'll look and see who else has joined my high school reunion page and see who all might recognize. Lo and behold, I found Gloria Brodsky, the chair of the Architectural Committee. After many, many months, actually almost a year later, I posted this and I outed her for cyber stalking me. And this is how she replied. So here is what Gloria Brodsky posted publicly. Instead of saying, yeah, I did a Google search on her, I wanted to see what she was up to. No, she lied about it. But not only lied about it to cover her tracks, she also lied about it and posted what I believe, knowing full well of the hateful attacks that she would ignite against me, which did happen. This is a screenshot of my high school reunion Facebook page. Clearly, you can see Gloria Brodsky joined my high school reunion Facebook page, and she did it very shortly after I joined. Now, neither Gloria Brodsky nor her husband have any connection whatsoever to anyone who went to my high school or anyone who's related to anyone who went to my high school. The only logical explanation for this is Gloria Brodsky was cyber stalking me. But instead of admitting what she did, which nobody probably would give it a second thought, no, she lied about it. And she not only lied about it to cover her tracks, she lied about it with what I believe is knowledge that she would ignite personal vicious attacks against me. Who does this? So my question is, does personal character still matter? So how to further divide a community? How about forming a group and calling it a committee to give it an air of legitimacy? When our CCNRs grant that authority to form a committee in our community solely to the board of directors. And then when you do this, you only seek out, and I'm quoting here, like-minded people to join. And you promote it as being community strong and as if it has exclusivity on even caring about the community. In my opinion, using words such as like-minded or team player, these are words that are like dog whistles. And I don't think they should ever be used or even endorsed by anyone in a position of authority in a community. I feel they're divisive and discriminatory. Disrespect, arrogance, two things a sitting board member should never do or be. Yet, we can all view the video of a sitting board member mocking a resident by performing a pseudo-comedy act in an attempt to demean a legitimate question and never even answering that question. And then we saw the mocking of a resident's remarks made out of what I believe sheer frustration, then the piling on one after another. Oh, I'm from the most hated committee. No, I'm on the most hated committee. Really? Is that really acceptable behavior now? Disrespect, arrogance. Aren't these signs of one's true character? They used to be. I believe there should be a standard for all board members and committee members. They should correct the false information when they hear it, not endorse it or propagate it. They need to be honest and held accountable to what they say and do. They also need to be respectful at all times and have no personal agendas. They need to serve our community, not dictate to it. And most importantly, how about leaving your ego at home? Now, my friends, it's up to you. Does any of this really matter? Does honesty, personal integrity, one's character, does that matter anymore? It's up to you. Do you recall being told or it being implied that Majestic never intended to run a golf course? They just wanted to develop the land? Next are just a few of the many photographs I came across that document the efforts Majestic put into the golf course to repair and restore it after they purchased it. You can form your own opinion. Had we found common ground with Majestic and entered into a joint maintenance agreement in 2017, just think of all the court time and attorney's fees we might have avoided while maintaining the condition that Majestic had restored the course to. Now remember, these are Majestic's pictures after a couple of years of effort and significant dollars spent.